So, to begin. Fuck. I closed my window. And then I opened the wrong one. Nestled on the eastern coast of the continent of Kuplo, residing on the Tona Ocean, is the city of Estaan. A gleaming, kind of, not emerald, not greenish. Well, yeah, emerald is green. Stone is what it's made up of, and it rests slightly above the waves, just a little bit above. And that is where our story begins, in Estaan. Now, Estaan,
Right.
Estaan.
Okay.
Now, this something you two would both know is the city. It's kind of been rebuilt. It was originally a ruin. Well, the top half was not. The bottom half of the city, which you both would know because I'd say you both have been there for a couple days now, and just word of mouth and general exploration would reveal this, that the bottom half of the city was a ruin that was found close to maybe 300 years ago. And then the sea elves and the Triton, the fish folk, built their own city on top of it and connected the two.
All right.
It doesn't look like an oil rig. It is raised up though, so it has the same kind of concept.
It is over
like
water though.
Yeah,
or-
it's
It's a
over.
floating.
So it's
a
kind of like
floating
an oil.
city.
It's kind of like an oil.
Yeah, it's kind of like an oil rig, but much larger. Like it's a full fledged city. It's not like
Is it kind
No.
of like a float?
I
is
think
it
it's a
like
shitty city. It looks like poop.
it looks like.
Would it be like a float?
I'll
Is
kill
it like
you.
a floating island?
I'm just kidding.
It's-
Is it kind of like Futurama's
No,
Atlantis? Where it's sunk.
no, it's more like I got that joke.
I
It's
didn't get it.
it's like it doesn't have any rocky bottoms. It literally is. It's made out of like stone and it's built up. Instead of having a natural landmass like an island, it's manufactured. So they had to build and connect it, and basically it has supports coming from underwater that hit the bottom and keep it raised. But it doesn't have any natural formations.
Is your name
I mean-
magical support?
Yes,
It's gotta be some long ass poles.
they are long ass poles. But you two haven't been to the bowels of the city yet, because it's not closed off to outsiders, but it's more or less invitation only because they want to because that's where all the fresh water comes from.
That's like sound a nice way of saying it's closed off.
It's well, you can still get down there. It's not like forbidden. It's more like, oh, you want to go down there? Why do you want to go down there? And here's what you have to do to get approval. But you two arrived in the city separately. You each have your own reasons for coming, but through mitigating circumstances, you both wound up at the Where is it? You both
you
ended
got it.
You both ended up at the Emerald Shore Tavern, accepting a
Yes.
job from a man named Octavian.
Octavine, like a water brand.
No. Octo space Vian. First name Octo, last
Yeah.
name Vian.
Yeah, I get that, but I mean like a water brand.
But anyways, you found work through him, through bounty boards or word of mouth, and you both have arrived in the tavern. You've both spent maybe, I'd say, 2 days at the tavern just waiting for him to contact you, because you both answered his summons and arrived, but he hasn't yet shown up. He's making you wait for. I mean, you don't know that. You think he was supposed to arrive like a day ago, but he hasn't shown up.
Oh, I know that. I know he's making me wait. I've seen him. I've been stalking him.
You've been stalking him?
Yep.
I've been just looking.
I don't like
I've been-
deceivers.
I've been looking like him this whole entire time and acting like him.
How do I look at my character details? I know I fucking put shit on here.
So Logan, what does he look like?
Well, I was gonna say you're both sitting at the table. You've kind of casually introduced yourselves to each other, as in you know of each other's existence, you know of each other's names, you know what you look like, but you haven't really like oh, I'm from here, or this is me. You know, you're more like, hi, my name's blank. How this is But you're both sitting at a back table. The owner has provided free room and board while you wait for Octo, because Octo is paying. So he's been coming back and forth like, hey, you want to order more food or more drink? It's on the tap.
I'm like, you're right. I'd like that.
And the owner,
I'm here for work, not pleasure, and I give him a side-eyed, like, just glare. I don't know.
all right. The owner is a man named Ronald. You haven't gotten his last name.
Ronald. All right. And this is where I create his last name.
We haven't asked his last name, but
In my head, it's
Is it
already
McDonald?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you both. No,
It's gonna you no matter what name you pick, it doesn't matter. We're
I
gonna
could-
find a way. We'll find a way.
I could fucking name him Minie, and you rip him apart in a day.
Yes.
But anyways, he's a human guy, bald with a thick growing beard, darker complexion. And he comes by every now and then just to check on you, tap off your drinks, because this
You're
is being...
lucky we're not flipping stools over, okay?
And tell people to take a seat. I insist.
Oh, that's a deep cut. But anyways, after a few minutes, eventually you see a figure emerge through the doorway, wearing a hood and robe, and accompanied by, it looks like five.
I got an invite from Tristan.
Yeah, I did too. I'm gonna send him a message real quick.
I'm fine with him sitting in here if he wants.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I'll invite him.
I don't know if he's in a party. Oh, he's in a party with Noel and Gamer God.
Now,
Gee.
just send him a message real quick, and I'll continue. But you see a hooded figure enter, accompanied by what looks like 4 or 5 heavily armed guards. And immediately you see the hooded figure kind of like scanning back and forth across the room. So
I immediately before they see me, change my appearance, and I look like Octodad. I mean Octo.
you haven't
Brand.
met him yet. You haven't seen what he looks like yet.
I assume. He
Okay.
looks like a Triton.
You just turn into a Triton and try and like kind of
Yes.
gather what he'd look like. Okay.
Yes.
But eventually, you see the hood lock onto you. He gestures, and the guards accompany him as they move across the tavern to your
Question,
table. Yes.
Are kobolds in this world just typical kobolds? Like, how do people feel about kobolds, pretty much?
The general consensus on kobolds is they're not like shunned, especially in a city of non-humans.
Just like an odd sight kind of thing. They're not.
Yeah,
like-
it's not like there's tons of kobold adventurers.
I'm not gonna have to worry about like being sad because I'm a kobold, right?
No, you're not. No one's racist against kobolds, as far as you know.
Hey man, you never know, man.
hungry.
I'm a monster race. I'm hanging out with people that aren't my kind. So
No, your general reception of the city has been quite pleasant. They haven't
okay.
you haven't getting side eye.
They
People
probably
like
don't even notice me, dude.
No,
They're
they
like,
probably-
I'm like fucking. I'm probably look like a child.
in heavy
A
armor.
scary child. Yes.
Yeah, they genuinely they don't. It's not that they don't pay you no mind. It's more like a curse, like a kobold, and then they keep going.
All right.
But that's just this city.
Perfect for subterfuge.
The general consensus on kobolds is they're all right as long as they're not troublemakers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same thing with goblins or orcs. It's more like
If I was
they
driving through the park and they saw me, they'd pull me over.
What are you doing in our neighborhood, boy?
maybe, but
They'll just see what I'm up to. They're not gonna take
Yeah.
me away. They're not gonna stab me. But
You've
they're
been
gonna
around-
yell,
Where'd you get the-
What are you doing
where-
here, man?
Where'd you get this nice looking 1967?
Hey, where'd you get that nice dagger?
yeah, they genuinely
you
this
buy
city
that?
especially has been very welcoming. But you do know that there are some cities, whether you've been to them or not, that are more like, oh, a kobold. Maybe I charge a little more just in case he causes trouble.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But this
I'm
city,
a high risk.
yeah, they don't know. They're not like, oh, he could burn down my tavern. They're more like he could cause fights, or he could,
He could be nefarious.
yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. But in this city, it's been a pleasant welcome. And I've lost my train of thought. Oh, and the figure,
Sorry.
eventually he pulls his hood back to reveal he's not a Triton, he's a sea elf. Which,
And I immediately like go ahead and look, and I slap my face real hard, and I immediately turn into a sea elf that looks exactly like him.